Oh, hi everyone. I'll be speaking with Dan. He'll be helping me for the virtual Daytona 24 that is the end of this month that I'll be racing in. He is going to be live coaching me today in iRacing, and hopefully it's a good time. Guys, if you don't know who Morad is, he's a real life racing driver. He's won some races. Big deal. Who doesn't win races? But my favorite is his IRL sound effect. This is what he does for a living, is make car sound effects. So if you guys don't know, you should definitely follow Dan.
Okay, so let me set up the session. So we're gonna do Daytona. Done a little research. You know, I watched your Daytona practice before, and I feel like you're not quite sure where to actually brake yet. Knowing what to look for and how to transition through the entry phase into the mid phase and exit, and how it all links together. So we'll kind of like work on that and simplify it in a way where it's really nice and pleasant.
You essentially just said I don't know how to drive in much nicer words. But okay, no, that sounds great.
I know.
You don't know how to brake, and you really don't know where to accelerate, so all of the driving together.
Man,
No, let's
I
do
didn't
this.
mean it like that. Listen, okay. One thing, I've actually had feedback from like a few people. I got close to them. He told me, he's like, you have a really good way of complimenting, but also insulting and tearing someone's soul out of them. I'm putting the shovel down. Okay, go drive.
This is gonna take a lot of time.
We'll reconvene. Oh, I'm gonna let you drive on your own, by the way. I don't want to influence anything here. This is all about you.
Oh, sorry. No, you go ahead then. Oh, I'll wait.
I'm not a gentleman, though. Should have said ladies first. Then, like, that would be weird, right? It's 2022. Is that even a thing anymore?
All right. Let me get my shit together, guys. Here, fourth. Oh. Don't know where to brake. I brake at the yellow traffic light. I know exactly where I'm braking. The real question is, do I know how hard to brake? Oh god. Oh Jesus. Oh god, that's... Sorry, I was just checking out the lawn. Don't mind me.
Oh, yeah. I did the same, nearly. I think that I can at least, in about 30 minutes, we can drop 3 seconds, okay? I like it. You did a 150, 50.6. Respectable. Okay, do me a favor, jump out of the car, and I'm gonna share my screen on Discord so you can kind of see like more in real time what I'm looking at. Okay, let us take a tour around.
Everyone take notes.
Wonderful Daytona International Speedway. So number one, something that's gonna help you a lot with just like predictability and like placement at Daytona. So you always want to try to take like the low line on the bank, okay? Like that's just the faster way around. Like taking the lower line here on the banking, this is just the way to be. Going out here, there's no need really to, and especially with multi-class traffic, with prototypes and stuff, low is slow, okay? That's the golden rule.
Oh yes, we know
low
this.
Is slow.
So I need to write that down.
GTVs are always expected to stay on the yellow line, going down the straight and the banking. Prototypes will always overtake you around the top side. So coming off the bank, if you go across the track like this, you could potentially confuse like a prototype and they'll like cross over and it will be a mess. So always stay on like the yellow line.
Stay low.
100%. Until you're kind of like around this point,
right,
where you're just approaching the start finish, that's when you can start to blend across. Of course, if you see a prototype behind you, then you can keep it a bit more low, or at least mid-track, and they go around the high side. That's number one for endurance, just for keeping safe and keeping the car in one piece. 100%, that's the way to go. And always remember, low is slow. In terms of placement, so coming across the start finish, I tend to like, I'll point the car, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. I tend to point the car from like around here across the start finish line and diagonally come across so I can align myself with this wall. This is a really good reference because otherwise you're just like searching. You're not quite sure where to go across the track. You're maybe using these like dashed lines, but I really like to use the outside edge of the wall and this sign. That's a very, very good reference for braking because it can be like daunting. You're coming here top speed. You don't know what to look at. There's like a huge ass area and like an arrow and like you don't want to look there. But the sign, this is something that's, you know, really useful in real life. Off of the pit exit road, there's actually a blue line that kind of goes on the wall right here. And that's what we, like, I use that for my reference. I don't look at the inside. I look right here. That's my reference. And that's what I use every time. So I'm braking, and you're braking roughly at like the correct spot. But look at your heading, okay? This is going to make it just a little bit more easy to kind of engage turn one because there's a lot going on. You're going off the bank, you're going at top speed, you're braking on a curve. So it's making the car feel like really nervous. In order to maximize your braking, I like to get the car right out to the wall, and right before I brake, I tend to point the car in just ever so slightly. So if I'm a half a car or a car width wider and I start to point it in, I will end up technically around the same position as you, but my degree of heading will be like 15 degrees further into the corner. So when I brake, I don't have to turn as much. I'm actually braking more in a straight line. So especially like in this region, like it must feel like really difficult to stop the car. Like right here, it's tricky because it feels like it's just going so quick and it's sailing through the corner. You've done a good job to actually like slow the car down. Use second gear 100%. In every so turn
what am I doing? I'm doing third gear.
Turn 5, turn 6. Every corner on this track in the Ferrari is second gear. Very, very easy car to drive in terms of gearing. It's second no matter what.
Oh, I'm going fourth gear in that bad boy.
So just looking at this, in terms of the approach, like you'll be able to have so much more confidence on the brakes if you just get the heading. So look at this. I'm going to bring up mine.
Look at this. Look at the way I drive.
Quick peek. So look at the what I was saying. So I'm kind of like running the inside, running the low line.
This is so cool. Okay.
Blending up across the start line, getting up to the wall.
Oh, he's so
close to the wall. See how I point the thing in? Like I really point it. Oops. I really point it right before I'm about to brake. I flick the car almost in, then straighten off my hands. When I straighten my hands off, I'm able to like basically rotate, flick the car, straighten off my hands, equalize the weight distribution on the front tires because you want to brake with like both front tires with like the even weight across them. If you're turning, all the weight's kind of going on this front corner, and it's going to make the car like really
see it down here.
Not handle that well. It's going to make it very slippery. It's going to make it feel like it's sliding in. So you may feel that sensation where it's like kind of sliding the rear tire. But it comes to a point where I just really, really need to get the car in. I point it down, point it down, point it down, open this whole section. But I keep in mind, if you look at the road here, it actually isn't flat. It falls off a little bit. Really? So look at the way the car is going to go up and over this ridge. Look at how it's leaning, leaning, leaning. Now look how it drops in.
Oh.
So it's kind of crazy. Like without even knowing, sometimes you're like, I have no grip here sometimes, but then I have a lot of grip other times. So when you get in this like little pocket right there, the car tends to pick up a lot of grip because you're not going up against the road, up against the hill.
I didn't know that at all.
See that? Look. Boink. Now you're inside the little grip pocket, and you can like really be aggressive on throttle. I noticed you were also holding the exit quite a bit. But the thing is, the tires can only do like one thing correctly at 100% at a time. So if you're trying to get to the power, of course you can't keep steering, right? Because you're just going to slide and probably spin out on the exit. So what you end up having to do is the more throttle you give, the more you have to take off the steering wheel. Like you straighten off your steering wheel. And the further ahead you start looking to connect these reference points, the smoother all that's going to start basically occurring one after the other. So it's going to be like a sequence of events where it's like, okay, I look at the braking point, the braking point, looking at the, the turn in or my reference for how wide I want to be in this
feels
region.
Real. And on a single screen, I have no idea how close I am to the wall. Is this one of those things where I have to just practice, and if I crash out, I crash out? It's like,
you know what? What's your FOV with the single screen? How far is it?
During streaming, it's pretty far, but when I race, I try to put it a little bit closer.
You know, if you're too zoomed in, you feel like you're going slow. If you're too zoomed out, you feel like you're flying, like you're absolutely going like a rocket ship. So finding something that's comfortable for you is, obviously the closer you can bring the screen, the better. This way you can like open up the field of view a little bit. If it's too far away, you're going to have to close off that field of view, and that's going to reduce the side vision. But I would say to that point, the closer you can actually get to the wall, the better it's actually going to be for you because you'll see it. It'll be in your vision. Like on my single screen, if I'm showing you, like you can see my one monitor, I'm streaming my middle screen.
Right.
So technically I have the vision. Like I can see the wall. I'm right up against it here. So you should be able to more or less be against it. It's kind of like Long Beach if you've ever driven that yet? I've had students where
Yeah,
they're
all the
like,
time.
oh, I have a single monitor. I can't really see the walls. But I'm like, if you put your car up against it before you turn in, you'll actually see it. So you'll actually be beside it.
Got it.
If you're driving on a diagonal at the wall, it's going to be blind to you until the last moment when you get there. Then you'll be like, oh, crap, there's a wall there. So when the people that drive down the inside on the yellow line and they point it at the wall and then you start turning, it's actually starting to be like alarming if you have a single screen, because it's like you lose track of where the side is. So I would say get out to the wall, like, you know, kind of like this, flow out to the outside. You can see the wall. It's out there. I mean, I see it on the single screen. I can still see that the wall is right beside me. I can see that sign. I'm really looking at that sign. That's my reference point.
Right.
Boom.
Turns
and then
in.
I'm just looking straight ahead. Really,
Yeah,
I
that's nice.
don't need the side monitors for anything more. Like, I can turn them off and still drive. It's more for the racing ability, like to have some like vision on your sides, or if you're driving Coda. If you drive at Coda, it's like horrible. It's the worst track for if you have a single monitor. So back to this. So turn one.
We're solely on turn
it's
one.
as simple as placing the car a little wider and just opening up the corner. I love how you have a notepad as well. Opening up the corner. Just keep in mind that the road is falling away. So I don't want to overcomplicate turn one too much, but that's definitely something that will help you with placement and also awareness that the road does change with the crown. And then in terms of the exit, like, you're really just looking to open your vision, look for this exit curb. You don't need to keep it on the white line on exit. We're looking to really maximize exit potential.
Yeah.
So you can see I get to throttle, and what I do is with the Ferrari, you can actually like get to the throttle quite aggressively, like about 75%, and hold, and then get to the rest. If you do that too early, what will happen is you're going to feel like the car's rotating, and then it starts to run out of the road. If you do it too late, you're going to feel like, oh yeah, this is really safe. If you kind of do it in the sweet spot where you go 0% to 70, it's going to feel like it rotates, like the car's turning. It's like floating, but not sliding in a way where it's uncontrollable. It's like just dancing. And then you can feed the rest. So if you watch my hands, watch how I'm on the throttle really aggressively. So I'm on my maximum steering lock. So I turn in, maximum steering, throttle, open. And you can kind of see it has that like dancing
really
motion where it's just wiggling in the rear.
How are you doing?
And that's where I'm quick to correct and open my hands up.
Dan is helping.
I want to try to unsteer the car. I don't want to keep my steering lock in because it's creating the rotation. I'm losing the rear of the car.
Something I do want to note is we should also go over the outside or the safe line, because Larry was saying that LMP2s like to dive in that first corner.
So it's all about car language, because you can't
Tristan is
speak
a great
or communicate.
teacher.
Well, technically you can. You can talk to people on iRacing. In real life, you can't, though. So what we like to do, like in real life, if I want to protect a certain area of the track, I will actually put my car lower down and showcase, like, hey, this is my spot. Like, this is my area. I'm occupying. This is my territory. It's like a dog. I'm peeing here. Like, that's mine. And
great analogy.
That goes to show them to have the outside. Into turn one, definitely protect the inside a little bit. Like, if it's at this point,
I'll PM my part of the track.
If they're going to pass you already at this point, that's fine. But if it's dicey and it looks like they could potentially dive in right here at that point, you have one of two options. Either early on, you decide, I'm going to put the car down here and really protect. But you have to realize you're going to probably have to brake a little earlier because your angle is going to be tighter as you approach
Rubbers
the
the
corner.
racers pee.
Number two, you can really open up the inside and just allow them to have this space. Because kind of like what we're doing right here. We're allowing them to have the space. You might have to breathe a little bit more, a little bit wider, maybe a little bit over the white line as well. But keep in mind, you want to be turning the car from out here, because if you don't turn the car out here and you start running out wide, you'll never make it back for the corner. You really want to slow the car down out here, point it across the crown in the road so that you can come back into the apex and get a good exit. If you're kind of hanging out in this region out here or out there, it's very, very bad, especially end of race. It gets marble buildup and it becomes very slippery.
I do that sometimes.
So yeah, you don't want that.
Thank you.
Does that kind of answer the question of the safe line?
Yes.
So turn one, boom, done and dusted. So really opening up, look at all the curb I'm using. Okay, I'm a bit too tight here. Don't follow me. Don't do that. You don't want to really take the grass there. Really, you want to try to hold the backside of this curb. And ideally, holding the backside of this curb so I can get the car all the way over. In a perfect world, I want to be far to the left side of the track here.
Right.
If I can get the car to the left, That means I can brake in a straight line. See how I'm like just fighting it to get there? If you keep the car in a straight line, it's going to be so much easier to brake. It will feel balanced, right? Because you're balancing the weight again on the front tires, both of them, not just one.
Morad is first.
If you're turning in early and braking really hard or late, it's going to feel like, yeah, it's going to want to oversteer on you. It's going to step out the rear. What we're looking for is really good control on the brakes. And you'll notice how when I brake, I kind of like pick a good spot. Like I brake to a certain degree, like let's call it 70%. And I'll just hold that.
Wait, what's your braking line? Sorry. What's your visual here?
My visual. Oh, so let me go back.
For some reason, this turn, I hate it because it looks so flat, like the road keeps going. I can't get over it.
It's a tough one because the visuals are so far, and with a single monitor, it's impossible. With a triple monitor, I don't even look at this.
Impossible.
100-meter board, like they're so far off the track, it's impossible. In real life, we actually have boards here, but I don't look at them. I use the dashed line as my reference. So that dashed line is a really good reference point, and I do it based on timing. So like as I cross over this dashed line, I just as I pass it,
just starts.
It's more of a timing thing rather than an actual visual that I'm seeing in this very moment. I pass by it and I know that's within half a meter roughly my braking marker. Now at this point, I'm really opening my entry. Like the line is everything. If you can drive the correct line, that's going to be the majority of the battle for you, I would say. Just putting yourself in the right spot on the track is going to maximize your potential. So really starting from the complete left side rather than the middle. I noticed that sometimes you tend to like creep it to the middle a little bit. So notice how you're just a little further to the inside.
Yeah, I'm pretty far. Yeah, I mean, like I'm pretty far from the outside, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so and it's hard with the singles. The more that it's in your visual, in the frontal vision, the more time you have to process this information and actually put yourself in the right part of the track. Instead of braking like on a diagonal at it and like not quite sure how close you're getting the car out like far to the left, like fight to the left, brake in a straight line, and try to elongate your braking zone in a straight line. And when you turn in, I mean, the turn-in point's good. You're just holding the brakes on too long. The turn 1 and turn 3 situation we got going on is that you're holding your brake pressure on too long. So you're braking, you're braking hard, you're squeezing, you're holding, and then coming to a point where like, yeah, that's good. Okay, now we're talking visuals. Okay, where are we looking? What is our visual? We're looking for this dark patch here. Like this last bit of darkness is where the rubber is. That is your clipping point. So if you were ever in doubt, that is it. You want to clip that point, and the moment you're alongside this point, your eyes, you're looking up. You're looking at that beautiful Ferris wheel. It's fantastic. Already looking up, and ultimately, this is your limiting factor. That's your vision. Your vision should be out here. You're looking for that point, waiting for it to appear. But for you with the single monitor, your first point of reference is going to be this curb. So where are you in relation to that curb? You don't want to run over this curb. Okay, this curb, the road falls away. You're going to get like a lot of oversteer. It's going to make the car slide. You don't want that. You're looking for this yellow curb, the secondary one. And if you can drive, we're looking for the rotation with the trail brake. So creating the pivot effect. The car's pivoting. We're opening your hands here. At this point, you can take off the steering lock. You're looking for no more than about 90 degrees. Okay, 9 and 3 on the steering wheel. You want your left hand at 12, right hand at 6. Any more, you're tightening the corner more than it needs to be. So opening up, eyes up here, you're looking for your exit point, and you're just driving out at that point. And naturally, where you look, your hands, it's magical. Your hands just follow your eyes. It's like drawing a picture. If you draw a point on one side of a page, okay, you draw 2 dots, but you look at the page and you kind of like just draw a line without looking at the end point, your line will be all squiggly. You won't really know where to draw that line.
It's true.
If you draw a point, from one side to the other side of your page, but you're looking at that point with your eyes, okay? This is an exercise you could literally try. And that's what the vision is. That's how powerful your vision is when driving. Your vision is everything in racing, in driving. Where you look is where you go. In racing, if you don't look where you're going, you're not going to go there. So you know where my eyes are, I'll use my cursor to kind of give you the real-time guideline as to like where my eyes are, like what I'm looking for as we're going through. So I'm coming up here, I'm looking at the wall, looking for my reference, light post, boom, braking point, bam. Inside, I'm looking out here. How far am I good? Now I'm looking at the apex. Eyes up, looking at
Oh,
the
wow.
curb.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Bam, good. Now we're looking here, here. Eyes up, looking at my braking point. Bam. Now eyes in, I'm looking in at the curb, hitting that dark point. Eyes up, good. Here's secondary point, clean, fantastic. Now I'm coming into this very fast corner with the kink. Eyes on the apex. I'm trying to keep the car as far left as I can. Brake point straight, boom. Eyes in, eyes in, eyes in, looking further, further, further. Clipping point right there, bam. Got it. Eyes up now, looking for the curb. Straightening my hands off. Now I'm looking for my entry point. Right there, boom. That clipping point. Apex, exit. How far am I to the curb? Good. Wall. We're looking at the wall. We're looking at the wall, clean. Now, I mean, it's all about keeping it low. My eyes,
Yeah.
I'm over here. This is where I'm looking. With my cursor, I'm looking far, far, far. Eyes
To the
up.
next breaking point.
I'm looking here. Brake marker, where is it? Light post. Okay, here it is. Good. Now I'm looking at apex, 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 boom. Second one. Third one. Fourth. Where am I? Where am I? Good. Safe. Like, that's how I'm kind of going through the corner. And that's how fast I'm processing the information. But you can see how I'm shifting from one focus point to another. You know, the more time you give yourself to process the information, the easier time you're going to have collecting this data.
One eternity later.
So that is one lap around the track.
Someone said I'm faster than you because it just took you an hour to complete one lap.
This is not wrong. It's definitely not wrong.
Now we're going to go into a practice session and put everything together. I'm in.
Oh, man, look at the speed. Oh, my goodness.
Okay, bye.
You're going to pass me? You're going to pass me? No, no, it's happened. Clip it.
About to hit 290K.
Clip
like
it and
fools.
ship it. Ladies and gentlemen.
Ah! Speed comes with a price.
Hey, I need to run. It's sleepy time. But that was fun, guys. Ash, hopefully you basically got faster. I don't know if you've gone faster than that before. But that seems pretty damn good. I don't know. Like, I think that's okay. I promise.
Only
3
improvements from there, especially with the bus stop and things. So no, that's as fast as I've gone.
Yes.
Well, your optimum's a 48 flat.
This is
And
true.
Dan said the target was a 47, so you're not that far off on it. And
You're gonna
like-
fix the bus stop, and
Yeah.
we're gonna hit it. We're going to do this, okay?